Welcome back to Grumpy's Kitchen and Provisions. I'm Grumpy still. Today we're going to do smothered pork chops, kind of a comfort food, Southern classic. I'm going to start with my pork loin. So this is the rib end of my pork loin. I did a video breaking down a pork loin. You can see that later. So I'm going to start. We're just going to cut our pork chops about an inch. So this one's still partially frozen, which is fine. So just got to put a little more effort into it. Here you go. So this is, as I said before, this is the loin end. So this is like your New York strip. And then here's your rib end. Doesn't that look curious like a ribeye? So from here, we're just going to trim. We're going to trim the fat. This is how they would do it at the butcher shop also. You're going to just trim it up to whatever thickness of fat you want. So there's one down. Next, and you don't have to do this process especially if you don't have one, but I have a jacarder. So what it is, little teeth. You see that? Little teeth that are going to go down into the meat. It's going to help tenderize a little bit. Plus, when we dredge it in our flour, it's going to allow the flour to get in a little more. Like I say, these are still partially frozen. So obviously, if it was thawed out, this process would be a little easier. Plus, since we're cooking them partially frozen, it'll allow the heat to get up into the meat while we're cooking. So then you can see, if you see close, you'll see the little holes in there where it just puts these teeth down into the meat. Now we're going to go ahead and season our pork. So like I say, these are smothered pork chops, so we're going to do onions and mushrooms. If you don't like onions, you don't like mushrooms, leave one of them out. That's up to you. So I'm actually going to do 2 batches, but I'm going to show you as you did it where you could just combine them all and do them in one dish. I'm going to do half with just onions, half with just mushrooms, because my party, half of them don't like onions, half of them don't like mushrooms. So that's what I'm going to do, but you can figure it out on your own. So we're going to start with Grumpy's go-to. So you can give them a season on that side. Now we're going to go with Grumpy's Etcetera, the herb forward, herbaceousness. Turn that, sprinkle that side. Now we're just going to give them a flip. We're going to repeat the process. So now you can see all the coating of the herbs and spices. I'm going to get my pan heating on a medium-high heat. Start that. I'm going to put about a 1/4 inch of neutral oil. Really just enough to cover the bottom. Doesn't have to be a 1/4 inch, just enough to cover your bottom of your pan. We'll get that heating up. Now, in a pie dish or whatever dish you have, I'm going to put about a cup of flour. So now you could season this more. I'm going to season it just a little bit of go-to. We're going to mix that up. Good deal. So now I'm going to start dredging. The other thing I have is about 3 cups of beef broth, beef stock, beef bouillon cube, whatever you have. Okay, so I'm just going to dredge this in the flour. Just give them a good push. And this is going to help with the gravy and everything else. So let's put our plate there. All right, 1, 2. So as you see, I'm just putting in the flour, pressing it in, and then just dusting it off. Sometimes you'll make a mess in this process, but that's okay. It's all part of the process. Let's get you up close to the pan. So we're going to go ahead and just place our pork in the pan. sear those on all sides till they're nice and golden brown. While those are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and cut my onions and mushrooms. So I've already cleaned the mushrooms. I showed you how to do that before. Just take your paper towel and wipe any excess dirt. Never put these in the sink and rinse them off. So you're just wiping the excess dirt. I've already done these, but that's just to show you what we're doing. We're just going to slice these, you know, 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch, whatever you want to do. Now we're going to move on to our onions. Just a rough chop. 1/4, 1/2 inch, same thing. It's all going to cook down. This is going to cook in the oven for several hours. So everything's going to be cooked down. It's going to be delicious. Time to give these a flip. They've been cooking 2 or 3 minutes. Got some nice color, nice golden brown. Look at that. Delicious. All right. Okay, we're going to cook them another 2 or 3, 4 minutes on this side. I'm going to turn my heat down to a medium. I'm going to remove these. So you can see they're seared on both sides, looking delicious. So we're not going to remove our bits and pieces. We're going to go ahead and go with our onions straight in. Let's turn that back up. Get our wooden spoon. Just start sauteing those around. So at this point, you could throw in some fresh garlic, a couple cloves. I'm going to go in with a couple of cloves of my garlic confit. So again, that's the garlic's been cooked slowly in oil. And that's just really going to melt, dissolve in there, this sauce as it goes. At this point, I'm going to go in with some Etcetera because this has all the herbs that we're looking for. Your rosemary, thyme, and parsley. So you can see those herbs right there. Look at the herbs and spices, everything you need right there. Now I'm going to give it a couple shakes of Grumpy's Go-To. There's another 1/2 teaspoon or so. Throw in about a teaspoon of flour. Just going to mix that around. So this is going to help make our sauce. So what are we doing? We're making a little roux. I don't want the sauce super thick because we have the flour on the pork chops that are going to help thicken this also. So now I'm going to go in with, let's start with about 2 cups of the broth. So as you can see, that garlic confit that we put in is totally dissolved now because it's been cooked to a point that it's really, you know, like a paste where it just dissolves. But you have all the flavor. Let's give it a taste. Oh, that is good. Just like a French onion soup. So that's what we're looking for right now. Let's just show you. I'm going to throw that. This is my 6th that I'm going to do the onion. You can see everything's covered. Now we're back on the heat with the pan. We're going to add a little oil, about 2 teaspoons of oil. We're going to do our mushrooms. So my people aren't allergic to onions, so I can still do it in the same pan. They're just not a huge fan. I'm going to go ahead in with my mushrooms. Like you say, if you were okay with both, you could have done this whole process, everything in one pan. But since my company has preferences, Grumpy's doing it to suit everybody. You do want to sear these pretty hot because you don't want them to release all their liquid. All right, they're looking good. You can see they're sauteing up nicely. I'm going to go in with the same thing, a couple cloves of my garlic confit, but you could go in with fresh garlic if you wanted to at this point. So the same process, a little Grumpy's go-to. Some Grumpy's at Etcetera with the herbs. Give those a saute around. Same process, about a teaspoon of flour. And get in with the oil, coat the mushrooms. Looking good. Our 2 cups of beef broth, chicken broth, chicken stock, bouillon, whatever you have. We're just going to bring this back up to a simmer, just like we did with the onions. Let's turn that off. Now we're going to go with our mushroom sauce on top of these pork. Okay. So there you have it. We have our smothered onions. We have our smothered mushrooms. We're going to go ahead and wrap these with foil, and we're going to throw them in a 350-degree oven. We're all ready to go in the oven, wrapped up tightly in the foil, so as this cooks, the moisture is going to stay in, and it's just going to kind of braise away. An hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever time you have, the longer, the more tender it's going to be. You can do this ahead of time and put it in the refrigerator, prep it the day before, and just make sure you throw it in your oven. You might want to give it an extra 20 minutes because it's going to be starting from cool instead of starting from hot. Welcome back. It's been an hour and a half. So you can see they are delicious. So they're already knife tender. Everything's already tender. So now I'm going to put them back in the oven uncovered for another 30 minutes and let some of the moisture evaporate and cook down. And we'll show you what it looks like after that. You don't have to do that at this point. They're good to go, but we're going to let some of the moisture escape and cook down at this point. Another 30 minutes and we'll be good to go. There you are, smothered pork chops, the one in onion gravy. Look at that. Doesn't that look delicious? Look at the onions. So we put them in another 30 minutes at 350 and it really cooked down. Look at the nice gravy. So I'm making some mashed potatoes. It's going to be a perfect addition. And then our other one over here with our mushrooms. There you go, a little fresh parsley, make it look fancy. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'm grumpy and grateful for you to continue to follow, like, and share. And if you haven't already, remember, you got to get some grumpies. Have a great day.